Hey everybody, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going over my BFL recap from the 2021 season. I ended up having a pretty good year. I made the regional. It's a good time of year to kind of look on how you did last year and see how you can improve. And I fished as a co-angler for the first time, doing the whole year in the BFLs. And I did the Great Lakes division. So the first tournament was out of La Crosse, Wisconsin, on the Mississippi River. And the first tournament wasn't too great. I ended up catching one fish, but it was a 3-pounder, so it was a good one. And that put me in 62nd place. So it didn't start off too great, but I turned it around pretty quick. So the second tournament was at the Wolf River chain. So that one was out of Winneconne, Wisconsin. And I did all right there too. I had 3 fish for 5 pounds, 15 ounces, which put me in 32nd place. So another decent tournament. It really bumped me up in the standings, that's for sure. So after the second tournament, I got bumped up to 30th place overall for all the co-anglers. So that was pretty good. And I was happy with that. I just wanted to make the regional, which I needed to get top 45 to do that. The third tournament was also out of La Crosse, Wisconsin on the Mississippi, and I did pretty good on that one. I finished 10th place. I caught 3 fish for 6 pounds, 11 ounces, and that put me in 10th place. It was only a 3-fish limit because the Wisconsin DNR mandated it. So it was a pretty good three bass limit for that time of year, and it got me my first top 10. And that was my goal going into the year, was to get a top 10, so I was pretty happy with that. And that 10th place finish rocketed me up to 12th place overall for the co-anglers, so I was very happy with that. The fourth tournament was also on the Mississippi River, but this time we launched out of Prairie du Chien. And this was also another 3-bass tournament, but I could only get 2 fish for 4 pounds and 8 ounces, which got me 40th place. So I was a little bit out of check again, but I've slid a little bit down in the standings, and that put me in 15th overall for the year. So I caught a lot of fish that really could have got me pretty close. If I would have caught that third fish, it would have put me really in a pretty good check. And I caught a few fish that were just in the 13-inch range, so that's a little frustrating not being able to get that third fish. So for the last regular season tournament of the year, it was also out of La Crosse, Wisconsin. And this was the super tournament, so they cut the bottom 80% of the field after the first day, and the top 20% fished the second day. On day 1, I caught a 9-pound, 3-ounce bag out of 4 fish. I caught so many fish that day, I just couldn't get that 5th fish over 14 inches, so that was pretty frustrating. But it was good enough to make the cut. I was sitting in 19th place, and I think the last place was 21st. So I barely made it, but I was pretty happy with just doing that. But on the second day, I knew I had to catch a pretty big bag to go up the leaderboard, and that's what I did. It wasn't a huge bag, but it was 11 pounds out of my 5 fish that I caught. And it was enough to push me all the way up to 10th place again. So I got 2 top 10 finishes on the year, so I was very happy with that. And caught another good check. And that brought me all the way up to 9th place overall for the co-anglers, so I was very happy with that as well. There's some really good co-anglers in that division, so the first time fishing the whole year, I thought I did pretty good. So for the regional tournament, it was down on Lake Ouachita in Arkansas. That was by far the furthest south I've ever fished. Before it was South Dakota, so it was a little different than what I'm used to. And I ended up having a really good first day. I was sitting in like 16th place, I think, with 7 pounds and 6 ounces for 5 fish, which was a really big bag for down there. It was fishing super tough. The water was really low. And I had to make the top 12 cut to make the third day. And the second day I didn't do quite as good. I only had 3 fish that weighed 311, and that finished me in 19th place. So I was very happy with the tournament, but it's just disappointing not being able to fill your limit on the last day. If I would have just filled my limit with a pound and a half, in the 2 fish that I didn't get, I would have made the final day cut, and then I would have had a chance to make the All-American. That would have been awesome. But I'm still pretty happy with my year. I did most of my damage on a shaky head. I caught a lot of fish up on the Mississippi River on it, and then also I caught a lot of fish flipping too. It's just a Texas rig, and for the regional, I caught, I think, all my fish that I weighed in on a drop shot. So that's all. That's my top 3 lures to use. That's what I love using up here. So that's something that I just tried to do, was just fish my strength in these tournaments. Fishing as a co-angler, you don't really have to or get to choose where to go, so you just gotta fish your strengths and do the best you can, and that's what I did. And I'm pretty content with this year, and I'm looking forward to next year and doing some more tournaments. And hopefully I'll be fishing out of the front of the boat in these BFLs. I'm looking forward to that. Probably not this year, but next year, I think. It's really tough running the Mississippi, not having doing that, so I'm going to go down, do a few trips down there this year so I can learn a little bit better. And probably start doing some BFLs as a boater down there in a couple years. So thank you guys for watching, and I'm looking forward to when this ice thaws so I can do some more fishing.